guys, it's Elizabeth Morse from Simply Out of the Box. Welcome to our holiday edition. We are going to be making some really delicious recipes today. Frankly, they're not that nutritious, but as we get ready for Santa Claus around here, we got to have cookies. So we're going to work on homemade gingerbread, and they are going to be delicious. We also are going to do homemade hot chocolate from scratch, and I've got my little nephews who are just like the best little helpers that are going to be joining, and they're super excited. And finally, we are going to enjoy some holiday banjo music at the end, so stay tuned. I'll get those ingredient lists up for you here in just a minute, and we'll get cooking. Okay guys, first up are going to be our old-fashioned Williamsburg gingerbread cookies. Full disclosure, this is not my personal recipe. It is one that is actually prepared and sold at the Colonial Williamsburg Living History Museum in Virginia. It's a really old traditional American recipe, and I love it because the cookies are always delicious, and I almost always have these things on hand. I don't have to go out and get anything special, so that's awesome and easy. It also is a pretty big batch, depending on the cookie cutter that you choose and the size. It's going to make about 3 dozen, which great for Santa Claus, right? They're going to be plenty for him, plenty for your family, and then maybe some to even share with your neighbors. Here are the ingredients that you need. 1 cup of white sugar. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of powdered ginger, 1 teaspoon each of nutmeg, cinnamon, and salt, 1½ teaspoons of baking soda, 2 sticks of butter softened, and I like to use unsalted butter. If you have salted, it's not a big deal. I would just go ahead and omit that teaspoon of salt that I just mentioned a few seconds ago. You also need 1/2 cup of milk. You can use evaporated milk, regular milk, soy milk, almond milk, whatever your family has handy. 1 cup of molasses and 4 cups of all-purpose flour. All right, our last recipe is going to be a homemade hot chocolate. I've got my little nephews coming in a bit to help walk us through the preparation. But here are the ingredients that you're going to need. 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. You need 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/3 cup of hot water. You need just a pinch of salt, 4 cups of whatever milk your family enjoys, and that can be dairy or non-dairy. And then finally 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Around here, we love serving cocoa with marshmallows, so if that's the same in your household, I would say grab a handful of those and have them ready for the end, but that's certainly not necessary. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to preheat our oven to 375. So I've already got that happening. And we are going to add 2 sticks of butter to the bowl. And this is a full half cup. I'm sorry, it's a full cup. 2 sticks. And I have some of these weird little half sticks, so I'm going to use those up. All right, so we've got that in the bowl, and we're going to add a cup of white sugar. Where'd my cup go? Oh, here it is. And I'm going to start that mixing so that the butter and the sugar cream together. While that's happening, I'm going to get my spices ready. I've got cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is add spices. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of ginger, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I also need a teaspoon of nutmeg. And I just so happen to have whole nutmeg. I thought I had powdered, but I don't. So I'm going to use this grater and just grate some in. Basically turns it into powder. All right. Next, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon and a half of baking soda, see, a half a cup of milk. We just use regular dairy milk here, but use whatever you like. And finally, I've got this huge thing of molasses. They sell really much smaller jars at the grocery store, a lot of times at the dollar store too, but this is what I have because I kind of make a lot of cookies. So, ooh, very sticky. Pour that in. And I'm going to go ahead and blend those up. All right, we're almost to the end. Our last step is flour. I've added about half of the 4 cups already, and I'm going to turn the mixer on slowly and get that combined, and then I'm going to add the remaining portion. And then the next thing to do, this is supposed to be a pretty stiff dough because we're going to roll it out and use cookie cutters. So every once in a while, I find that I have to add a little bit more flour, but we'll take a look and see how close we are with the 4 cups. And then we're actually going to chill the dough. We're just going to stick it in the fridge for a little bit and then roll it out after it's had a chance to firm up. Okay, this is pretty incorporated, so I'm going to just add the rest slowly. And we may get lucky and not have to add anything else. I don't really know why that happens. I think it must have to do with like the humidity and the heat and all that good stuff. But yep, this is getting pretty firm. It looks good. So we're just going to let it go for a second. You can always, of course, just use a regular a spoon and bowl or a hand mixer. I just like to use this because I've got it. Hang on just a second here. I'm going to turn it off and let you see kind of the texture of the dough. See, it's pretty firm, and that's exactly what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge, and we'll be back in just a little bit to make the cookie. Hi guys, I'm back with my elf helpers. This is Hunter and this is Thaxton. They're my nephews, and they are expert cookie makers. And I'm going to let Hunter show you how to roll out the dough, and then he and Thaxton are going to make some cookies and show you what they should look like. And we're going to put them in the oven. Okay, Hunter, you've got some dough, and I'm going to lower this just a little bit so people can see what you're doing. Can you show us how thin the dough should be rolled out?
Okay. You would want it a little bit thick, but not too thick. So, probably that thick.
Like about 1/3 of an inch?
Yeah.
Perfect. And does it have to be the same thickness all the way through?
Yes.
Okay. Show us what you got. That looks good.
Here you go.
And what cookie cutter did you guys pick? It's a cardinal.
Cardinal. So, put it there, push, wiggle,
Nice.
out, pull it out.
Okay.
And then
Gonna do a couple. You wanna let your brother try one?
keep doing that. Push, out. There you go.
All right, Thaxton, jump in there. Think you can get 2 more out of there or no? This one? Okay. Great job, guys. And now can you show everybody what you're going to put them on so that we can put them in the oven?
Yes. Here. We're going to put it on a tray with some paper.
It's called parchment paper, and it helps the cookies not stick. That's just what I like to use, but you could certainly put a little grease on your pan if you don't want to use parchment paper and just cook them that way, or some cooking spray. Those look great, guys. And then what do you do with the dough?
Just make more.
Awesome.
Put it back.
Okay, let's do maybe 1 or 2 more. So you guys are getting excited for Santa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Have you got your Christmas list all written?
Yeah.
Are you feeling optimistic about your gift situation?
No.
Alrighty then. Okay.
You kind of need powder on the roller thingy.
The rolling pin? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why do you want that?
So it tastes better.
Okay.
So it tastes better.
Does it help it not stick too, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Good job, guys. All right, let's do a couple more, and then let's get those in the oven. I preheated the oven before we started to 375, and when we put the cookies in, we'll set our timer for right at 10 minutes, and they should be perfect. We don't want to overcook them because we like them to be kind of chewy, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Ow.
Let's do one or two more. And then we will make our hot chocolate. Hey everybody, we're back with Hunter and Thaxton, my elf helpers, and we are going to start our hot cocoa. I'm going to go ahead and turn the stove on here for my helpers.
Fire.
All right, we've got that started, and the first ingredient we're going to put in is 1/3 cup of hot water. Hunter, you want to go ahead and put that in? Awesome. Now we need 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Perfect. We need 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. And 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Hunter, why don't you hand the sugar over to Thaxton and he can put it in. Thaxton, can you start stirring for us? Because what we want to do is we want all those things to mix together. Perfect. 1/2 cup of sugar. And we want that sugar to melt, so as Thaxton is stirring. Nice work. I'm going to turn down the heat just a little. There we go. Keep stirring and let me know when it starts to bubble because we're going to pour in the milk. It smells good. You smell it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you guys like your cocoa with marshmallows or without?
Marshmallows.
Without.
Okay, well I've got some, so we can
Who's
do it.
playing? That guy's playing.
Plain. Okay, I think we're starting, I see some bubbles. Hunter, can you slowly pour the milk in? And while you're doing that, Thaxton, you can keep stirring. And that's 4 cups of milk. We use dairy milk here, but you can use whatever kind your family likes. Makes no difference. And this recipe is going to make 4 servings of delicious cocoa. Nice work, guys. All right. Okay, Thaxton's been stirring, and we're going to put in our very last ingredient, which is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Hunter's going to do that really carefully. Ooh, nice. All right, keep stirring, Thax. We're going to let that get all the way heated through, and we're going to come back and show you how we serve it up. All right, we're just finishing up our cocoa. We're going to turn off the stove. It's nice and warm. The boys did a great job. And we've got our mugs with some marshmallows. I'm going to go ahead and serve this up right away. It smells amazing. And you can get it as hot as you like, but I would say don't boil it. You don't want to boil it because it's milk and it'll stick and burn and be gross. This is pretty delicious. Thank you so much for your help tonight, guys. I really appreciate that. Take a taste.
They're good.
How is it?
It's really good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
Merry Christmas!